Hello, it is October 22nd of 2025. And I have tried making this so many times, and I know I'm doing the right thing because let me tell you, yesterday's video, I had to redo, I don't know how many times. I had people knocking the door. Nobody ever comes to my house. I had, my phone ran out of space. Like, that never happens. How does that happen? And it happened again today trying to make this video. My cat, I was just about done making this video and my cat started getting sick behind me. And you know, we don't have the greatest. They're upgrading our internet. And it's not great, but you know, even a long video takes an hour, maybe up to 2 hours to load. I started yesterday's video. I loaded it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It did not finish until this morning. It still had to finish, and it finally did. So I know I'm doing something right, and I have redone this so many times. So having said that, okay, in case you missed the title, this is why I keep the feast. Yesterday's video was on why I keep Torah, and I gave you verse after verse after verse after verse, Old Testament and New Testament, where the Lord commanded. I went through, I highlighted, I circled command, and I underlined keep my commandments. It tells us over and over and over and over to keep the Torah. I'm going to do the same thing with the feast. Now, I have to tell you something about myself. First of all, this video is not about me. I don't want you to hear me. I want you to hear the words of Yehovah from the Bible, okay? Which, again, I am using my Geneva Bible, which came out right before the KJV. It's easy to follow along with. My KJV is put away. I have to get it out, but I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying reading now the Geneva. It's easy to follow along with, whatever version you want to follow along with, okay? But anyways, Christmas was my favorite holiday. I loved Christmas. I lived for Christmas. Like, I live in a little ranch-style house, and it was a Christmas wonderland. And I had a mountain of gifts, and I just loved it. I loved the shopping. I loved the decorating. I loved giving gifts. I still love giving gifts. That's who I am. It's my love language. And I loved it, and I did not want to give it up. You know, and I loved Easter, not as much as Christmas, but I liked it. And all the other holidays, until I started learning about the feasts of the Lord. And this is to explain to you why it wasn't hard to give up those holidays. It wasn't hard to give up Christmas once I understood. And so these are the verses that helped me to come to that conclusion, okay? And again, I went through, I highlighted, circled, underlined the important words. So we're going to do this again. I've done this so many times. And the kids I babysit are sick. My throat is really, really sore. Okay. I'm going to go slow, but I'm also going to try not to make this a 5-hour long video, okay? So if you want to follow along or write the verses down, just pause the video, okay? The first verse we're going to look at is Exodus 12 and verse 14. And this has teeny tiny little letters, and the lighting in here is not great. So, okay. Exodus 12:14. And this day shall be unto you a remembrance. And that's why he gave us the feast. It's always to point to him and to Yeshua, Jesus. Yeshua fulfilled the spring feast, and he is going to fulfill the fall feast. That's what the feasts are for, always to point back to him. Is given unto you as a remembrance, and ye shall keep it and holy feast. And again, I always encourage you, go look up the original Hebrew, Aramaic, and the Greek. The word you want to look up is Moedim. It is a time or event that is set aside. The Lord gave it to us. It's a Moedim. It is a holy feast. Let's start over. And this day shall be unto your remembrance, and ye shall keep it an holy feast unto the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it holy by an ordinance forever. Let's go back through that. Why is it given to us? As a remembrance. And what does he say? Ye shall keep it. That is a command. Keep it an holy feast unto the Lord. It's about him. It's to point to him. It's to remind us of him. And I'm just emphasizing this now. That way when you hear it in these other verses, you understand. Throughout your generations. That means teach it to your children. We are to do it. We are to teach it to our children. Ye shall keep it holy by an ordinance. An ordinance is a command, again, forever. And there's the words, forever. Not until Yeshua comes, not until he dies on the cross, not until the Brit Hadashah, the New Testament, is written. It says forever. And I'm going to show you something here. It's not just back then. It's back then, it's now, and it's future. And I have verses for that too. They are forever. We're not to take a break and then wait for Yeshua to come back to start them again. Go down to verse 19. 7 days shall no leaven be found in your houses, for whosoever eateth leavened bread, that person shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. I included that one so you can see how important and how serious Yehovah is about these feasts. You do this, and you do it the way I say, or I'm going to cut you off. I'm just going to leave that one alone. Next verse. Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23, verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall call the holy assemblies, even these are my feasts. We didn't make them up. He gave them to us. He commanded us to do it. Throughout our generations, teach your children to do it. Do this forever. These are my feasts. Down to verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, what I just said, and holy convocations, Moedim, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. Go down to verse 14. And ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. This shall be a law, a membra, forever. There's those words again. Forever. In your generations. Teach them to your children. And in all your dwellings. And down to verse 21. So ye shall proclaim the same day, that it may be an holy convocation unto you. Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be an ordinance, a command, forever. There's those words again. Forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. Do this in your homes. Teach your children to do it, and don't stop doing it. Over to verses 29 through 31. For every person that humbleth not himself that same day shall even be cut off from his people. And every person that shall do any work that same day, the same person also will I destroy from among his people. Ye shall do no manner of work, therefore. This shall be a law, a membra, Torah, forever. There's those words again. In your generations, throughout all your dwellings. Ugh. And last one, not last, but last in here is verse 41. So ye shall keep this feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year by a perpetual ordinance. That means ongoing. It means forever. Through your generations in the 7th month shall you keep it. Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are in Israelite born. Oh, I think I highlighted too much. So, and Leviticus 23 is about the feast. So go back and read the whole chapter. We're not getting into what the feasts are or how to celebrate them. We're just doing the verses that explain to me why to keep them. So now we are going to go through the New Testament. Matthew 26 and verse 2. We're in the New Testament. And I'm going to show you some verses that shows you that Yeshua and the prophets, or the disciples, kept the feasts. That's what these are. And then we're going to go back and do some more verses on something else. So these are to show you that Jesus and the disciples kept the feasts. Matthew 26:2. Oh, where is it? Oh. Ye know that after 2 days is the Passover, and the Son of Man shall be delivered to be crucified. Down to verse 17. Now on the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? Jesus and the disciples were keeping the Passover. Next one is Luke. Let me double check. Luke. Yes, it is. Next verse is Luke 2, verse 42. And when he was 12 years old, and they were come up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. That is Yeshua, Jesus. He was keeping the feast with his family as a child. John 5, verse 1. After that, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Go down to verse... Oh, I forgot to finish highlighting these. Go down to... Oh, no wonder. It's not verse 7. It's chapter 7. Go to chapter 7, verse 2. I did 1 and 2. We're going to do 1 and 2. John 7, 1 and 2. After these things, Jesus walked in Galilee and would not walk in Judea, for the Jews sought to kill him. Now the Jews' feast of the tabernacles was at hand. Go down to 10. But as soon as his brethren were gone up, then went he also up unto the feast, not openly, but as it were, privily. Down to 14. Now when half the feast was done, Jesus went up into the temple and taught. Next is Acts. Acts 18, verse 21. But bade the farewell, saying, I must needs keep this feast that cometh in Jerusalem, but I will return again unto you, if God will. So he sailed from Ephesus. One more, and then we have some other verses. 1 Corinthians 5, verse 8. Therefore, let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither in the leaven of maliciousness and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Okay, so what I've shown you is they kept it in the past, in the Old Testament, because it was commanded. The Lord said, this is what I want you to do. Do it, or I'm going to cut you off. And I showed you in the New Testament that Yeshua and Jesus and the disciples kept the feast. They didn't just stop because he existed. So now I'm going to show you the future. So it was before the New Testament, during the New Testament, and I'm going to show you future feasts. Matthew 26 and verse 29. I say unto you that I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I shall drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. That's future Passover. Mark 14 and verse 25. Verily I say unto you, I will drink no more of the fruit of the vine until that day that I drink it new in the kingdom of God. Luke 22 and verse 18. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God be come. 3 times it says that. 3 times. It says there's going to be a future Passover. Now, here's my question. These are the verses that helped me to understand that we are to keep the feast, the holy days, the Moedim, the convocations, the Moedim. If he commanded us from the beginning to keep these feasts forever in our homes, to teach our children to do it, and he says that when Yeshua comes back, it's going to continue, why would he not want us doing it now? And why would he want us celebrating a false holiday like Christmas and Easter, when you can celebrate the Passover? And if you want a substitution, Hanukkah isn't necessarily a commanded feast, but you can celebrate it instead of Christmas. You can still buy gifts. And guess what? Actually, I think, don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. I'm not. I have to ask if that is a commanded feast or not. But anyways, Hanukkah is way better than Christmas, because Christmas is just one day and it's all about the gifts. I mean, let's face it. Yeah, you can have a meal, but they want those presents. And usually they eat and leave. But with Hanukkah, you celebrate for 8 days. You have 8 feasts, and you give a gift each day, which is really neat, really fun. And if you really want to make it fun, if you have at least 8 people, go to 8 different houses, a different house each time. You don't have to do it all at the same house. I mean, imagine how fun that would be. So anyways, I'm not sure if that one is a commanded Moedim. But it's not commanded, you know? Anyways, my question is, why would we not continue now if we were supposed to do it in the Old Testament and we're going to do it in the New Kingdom. And the only time he doesn't want us to do it, even though he said forever, is during the Brit Hadashah portion of time, during the New Testament portion of time. But it's okay if we celebrate a false, and we could go into the history of Christmas and Easter and Ishtar and all that. I'm not. It is so, and I used to ignore it. I was told for years that it was, the history behind it. And I was like, well, whatever. He knows my heart. Until I really, really learned how bad it truly is. And I learned that he commanded us. He gave us feasts. Way more than just Christmas and Easter. Way more. Like I said, we just celebrated Sukkot. And that was so much fun. It was so much fun. We had a good time. The food was good. The company was good. The message was good. And it's so much better. It's not everybody sitting around waiting for the food to finish and they eat and then they take off. No. We had a message. We did the Seder. We ate food. As the hostess, I did give gifts because, again, gifts are my love language. I like to give gifts. And so, it was so nice. It was nice. And it was our first official, because I go to a very small church, And it was our first official Sukkot in a sukkah. And so that made it extra special. In a sukkah, for those that don't know, is it's a hut, to keep it simple. A little hut. I bought a party tent. And I just started it, and I'm trying to figure it out because it won't let me post my links to it. But on Facebook, I started a group called Camp Yeshua. And I realized there's another camp, a big camp, that's actually a camp. So I may have to change the name. But you can go on there, and I posted pictures of our sukkah. It was really pretty. So, okay, so we're at 23 minutes, and I know people have very little attention span. I like long videos, but most people don't. Those are the scriptures where he commanded us in the Torah, in Leviticus 23, in case you forgot. Go look it up. Keep these feasts. I command you. Do it forever. Teach your kids to do it, and to do it forever. Do it in your homes. This is for you. And this is to remind you of me. It's a gift. These feasts are a gift. It's a gift. And I showed you where we are going to do it in the future. And we know that. And I showed you that Jesus, Yeshua, and his disciples kept the feast along with his family and all of Israel. So why are we? Why now? And don't give me the dispensational thing, because it says forever. I understand dispensations. I get it. But it says forever. Now for a little while, take a break, and then we'll do it again. It doesn't fit the narrative. Okay? I encourage you, go back, read Leviticus 23, read the feast. It's really beautiful. It can be a little confusing if you don't know what you're reading. Maybe get somebody to explain it to you a little bit that knows and who does celebrate. I'm still learning them myself. I've only been on this path for a little over, it's probably been going on 2.5 years now. Pretty close, about 2.5 years. And so I'm learning. And when I first started going, I was sick, so I was missing a lot. So technically not even that long. I've been going to the church for that long, but I was missing a lot because I was sick. The Lord was healing me. I was in the process. So I'm still learning a lot. It's a lot to take in if you didn't grow up in this kind of environment. And so, hi baby. But go, this is my void. I call her my void, my shadow. But go read, maybe do a little research, and look up the original words. And something else that I do is I like to, like I'm reading a book right now on the Sabbath. Now I keep the Sabbath. I've been keeping the Sabbath for a long time, but I get into this little rut where I have to keep it, not I get to keep it, because I don't fully understand it. And so what I do is I like to read from a Jewish perspective, an Old Testament Jewish perspective, so I can understand the significance behind everything. And it's really neat. It really puts a lot of emphasis where it needs to be and gives you joy because you understand what you're doing. And I encourage you to do that in all things, in the feast, in keeping Torah, I'm going to do a video here, I'm thinking about it. I think the Lord's laying it on my heart about head coverings. You know, but it's one thing to do something because you're told you have to. It's another thing to understand the significance behind it. And that is freeing. It is so freeing. It's not, I have to do this. It's, I get to do this. And this is why I get to do it. And boy, I'm going to get a blessing for it. And I like that. It's very freeing. It's lovely. So, all right, now we're up to 27 minutes. I told you I could go forever. I love you guys. Yehovah loves you more, and Yeshua loves you so much he came and died for you. And he's coming back. Be sure you're ready.